Good day to everyone. So in the last class we have seen about the basics of the Fortran programming and how the algorithms are written and how the flowcharts have been used to make the algorithms. So today in this video I am going to give you the introduction about the Fortran programming language. So first I start with the Fortran character set. That means what are the characters which we can use in the Fortran programming. So as usual, the alphabets, you can use the alphabets A to Z, the capital letters, uppercase letters as well as the lowercase letters. Then the numbers 0 to 9, you can use it in your program. You can also use the underscore to write the name of the program, or if you want to declare a variable or a constant, then you can use the underscore character in the program. Apart from that, you can also use the symbols like plus, minus and the asterisk and front slash and the two asterisk symbols. So the plus symbol is to add the, this is actually the arithmetic symbols. The plus is actually used to add the numbers, and this minus is to subtract the numbers, and the asterisk is used to multiply to indicate the multiplication, and this is for the slash is for the division, and the double asterisk symbol is for the power. Okay, so these 5 characters you can use it as a arithmetic symbols, and then you can use the miscellaneous symbols, that is you open and close parenthesis, full stop, equal, comma, single quote, dollar and colon, exclamatory, double quote and percentage symbol, and symbol, semicolon, less than or equal, less than or greater than symbols, then the question mark and blank space. So totally you have used the now 17 miscellaneous numbers. So totally you can use the 85 characters, number of characters in your Fortran codes. Apart from that, you cannot able to use the power symbol or at ampersand symbol, hash, everything you cannot able to use as a instruction set in the Fortran instruction set. Apart from that, you can use this the mentioned characters as a Fortran to write the Fortran program. Next, so you have some of the advantages over the other languages in Fortran. Unless like other languages, this Fortran is completely case insensitive. The case insensitive means so you can use the combination of both uppercase and lowercase letters. Suppose if you want to declare a variable or give the instructions to the Fortran program, you can use the combination of both uppercase and lowercase letters. But in your other languages like C or C++, you cannot able to this. The letter A and A is completely different. But here you can write A is A and small a and capital A is both are same, mentioned in the same ASCII code. So writing its alphabet or a complete lowercase or the combination of uppercase and lowercase will give you the same result. So the Fortran is the case insensitive language. And so if you want to write the program in any programming with the Notepad text editor, you have two different forms. One is a free size form, another one is a fixed size form. I will tell you what is fixed size form first, because the Fortran is actually developed in 1957 or something, in the year of 1957. That time you don't have a much input devices. People use the punch cards. So you maybe heard about this. This is the punch card. This is the punch card, which has been used to give the instruction, to feed the instruction to the computer. Initially, this is what the heavy input device, one of the input device. What they have do is they have type the instructions in this punch card, then they feed back to the card reader so that the computer can understand or decrypt the instruction to the computer language. So this is actually a basic punch card. So you can see the different lines here, different lines and different columns. So the first 1 to 5 state labels. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is actually used to the statement labels. That means if you want to write the line numbers or if you want to indicate any labels, you can use this 5 lines, 5 columns, 1 to 5. So the sixth label is a continuation label. Suppose if you are writing an instruction into the Fortran code, suppose if the instruction is very long, which is not fitting into the one line, suppose if you want to make it the second line, then you can indicate as a continuation indicator. That means run numbers from 1 to 0 to 9, or you can make any symbols here in the sixth column. So whatever you are writing in the sixth column, that is actually taken as a continuation indicator, so that you can break the lines accordingly. So the lines from column 7 to 72, where you have to write the Fortran instruction. That means the program you are going to write, you are allowed to write only in the columns from 7 to 72 in the for the Fortran instructions. Then the 73 to 80 column, it is actually indicated, it is actually used to use the user as a card identification. Suppose if you are writing a program in more than one cards, you can just write the card numbers or a card label or everything, you can write it in the column 73 to 80 card. So this is the punch card format. So the same format is actually used in Fortran 77 or earlier versions. So in Fortran 70, if you are writing a program in a Fortran 77 or the earlier versions, then you have to use the fixed size form. That means in your text editor, you have to leave the lines columns 1 to 6 as blank. Then you have to write the Fortran instruction from the 7th column. Then you have to end the line with the 72nd column, or you have to break the line accordingly using the continuation indicator. And similarly, you are not allowed to write the instructions below and after the 73rd column, because the compiler will not consider this as a instructions, compile the Fortran instructions. This is called the fixed size format. And the Fortran also has the latest compilers or latest Fortran versions actually having a free size form. That means you can write the code from the initial first column itself, and you can write the instructions up to 132 characters long. That means a single line having up to 132 characters. If still your line instruction is very long, then again you can break the line with the line indicator, with the continuation indicator. You can do that. So suppose if you are using the Fortran 77 or earlier versions, you have to follow the fixed size form, or the Fortran 1995 usually have a free size format to write the program coding. So next is the Fortran structure. That means if you are writing a Fortran program, there are different statements. That means there are two different categories of statements are available. One is the executable statement, and another one is the non-executable statements. That means suppose if you are doing a mathematical operations, this statements come under the category of executable statements. That means you are executing something in the program, that is a executable statements. Suppose if you want to declare a statement, or if you want to give the input or output, if you want to deliver the output, or if you get the input from the user, you have to write the particular instructions that is come under the category of non-executable statements. So I will give you the examples of the executable and non-executable statement in the further slides. Before going into that, each and every program in having its own structure. That means in C it's having a own structure, and almost all the programs having their own structure. So the Fortran structure is actually, first you have to have a declaration section. That means whatever the variables or constants you are using, you have to declare it first, and then you can use the execution section. That means the math operations, everything you can do it in the execution section. Then you have to, once the program is finished, then you have to terminate the program. This termination section is having the termination structure, the termination commands. Okay, so I will just give you the examples of this executable, non-executable statements, and how the Fortran program look like in an example. For example, so I am going to add two numbers. This, and the added number, the value will be stored in the another variable, and you have to print the variable. Then you have to stop the program. So this is the simplest example of the program to add the two numbers. we already have seen the flow chart to add the two numbers in the last video. So this is the structure of the Fortran program. And another one is this editor. So you can see the photo which is having a different commands. This is actually a www.onlinegdb.com. so this is the online editor I am using for writing the program and compiling the program and to show the output. So you just write the program here and then you just press the run command, then it will compile the program. So if you want to give the inputs, you can just give the inputs, then it automatically do the math, do the operation and give you the output. Okay, so all the Fortran program should start with the line program and the program name. So this is the program command and you have to write the what is the name of the program. That means program, my first program. Here you can see that this name should contains the at least minimum of less than 32 characters, and the name of the program will always start with the alphabet, not with the number. Okay, please keep it in mind. You cannot able to write it as a one program because the first letter should be a alphabet, not a number or any other special character. You are not allowed to use the special characters here unless the underscore. So the program name, then you can use the exclamatory to give the command. That means the compiler will not read this line. Suppose if you put the exclamatory symbol in front of the line. So this is only for the user purpose. So usually we use the symbols like percentage with the C. The same command you can use it with the exclamatory. So just I want to tell the user what the program is going to do. So to multiply two numbers and save the results into another variable. So this is the declaration section where I can declare the variables, and this up to this. So I can declare that means I have three numbers, the three variables I, j, k. So all these are integers. You can also have another types, but for this example I take these three variables as integers. You know what is integer is. Then I am going to get the two numbers from the user. So for that I am going to display the command. That means I just want to know the user. You have to enter the two numbers. So that I am going to write, that means the input, write. In the open and parenthesis you can use the star. I tell you what is star is in a little later. That means in our forthcoming classes. And in the single quote or double quote you can write the whatever you require, whatever you have to give the instruction to the user. Okay, so this line will not be compiled by the compiler. You just print whatever you have write in the single quote or double quote. So enter the values of the two numbers to multiply or add, whatever it is. So after that the programmer or a user will give the two inputs. These two inputs will be stored in the variables I and j. So what are the first number included by the user will be stored in the ith variable, and the second number included by the user will be stored in the jth variable. So this is the declaration section. Then I have to execute the math operation. So this is the execution section where I have execute the multiplication command. That means I have to multiply the I and j. The result will be stored in the variable k. Since we are using the two integers, the command means the result is also an integer, so that I have taken as an integer itself. K is equal to I to j. So I have this value, the k is having the value of the multiplied value, so I have to give the output to the user with the same write command. The result is this one, and then I have to terminate the section. That means I have completed the program, then I have to terminate the section with the stop. That means if the stop instruction will tell you the compiler that the program is completed here. You don't required to further do the operation. That means after the stop, if you give any other instructions after the stop, the compiler will not execute the corresponding commands. So it will just omit the commands. Then the end of the program, you can write it as a end program. So this program you started, which we can end here. Optionally you can write the name of the program itself here. It is not a mandatory, it's optional. So end program, you can do the program name here. Otherwise you just leave it as a end program, that's fine. Okay, so this is the just basics. That's a simple program to multiply the two numbers. So I will give you the once if you write the program, then you just click the run button, then it will execute the compile the program and then give the output. So this is the sample output. So first I will just enter the values of the two numbers to multiply, which I have given in the right statement. So after that the cursor will blink. You have to include the two numbers. Either you can write the numbers continuously with a space 4 and space 7, or you can just enter the one number, then press enter, then you can give the another number. So I have included input as a 4 as a first number and 7 as a second number. Then after this program will execute the execution section, the multiply the two variables and then give the result. That result is printed here. The result is the comma k. So that is the result is actually given as output. Then the result, the exact result is printed here. So once the program is stopped, the program finished with the exit code of 0. That means it doesn't have any errors. And suppose if you want to go further, then you can just enter this. This is up to you, or it is actually depending upon the compiler you have using. So here you can see that I have given the two integer numbers, so that it is actually given the correct answer. So sometimes what I am going to do is I am not giving any particular instruction to give the integers. I just included as enter the values of the two numbers. I am not mentioning it as integer or real, whatever it is. So whatever it is, the user is actually included the first number as a real number and second number is a integer number. So here you can see that in the program I have included the two integers, all the variables as integers, I, j, k, everything is integer. But once if you include the real constant, the real variable 3.2, the float variable or real variable, then this program will show you the error. That means the bad integer for item 1 in list input. So this is the kind of error you will receive once if your input is wrong, mismatched with the type of the integer, with type of the variable you have used. So you have to mention the you have to indicate to the user that you have to what are the types of the numbers you have to input, that you have to do that. So otherwise it will show you the error. So this is the one example, the simple example of the Fortran. So once if you look at the program, you can easily understand just by reading itself. Just omit the other this lines and this line, and every lines you just excluded it, and then it's around having only a 6 to 7 lines. First one line is starting with the program name, then you have to declare the integer, whatever the integer variables is, then you can do the operation whatever you like, then you can just stop the program and end the program. So this is the, just once you are reading the program itself, you can understand that what the program is actually doing. And one more thing is, this program will always come from top to down approach. So first this line will executed, and then this line, further these two lines, and then the next lines will be executed. That means usually all the programs will start from executed using from the top to down approach. In some cases you can switch you can do the other things also using the conditional statements, which we can see in the forthcoming classes. So apart from that, this is the best the easiest and simplest example for the Fortran program, and this is the outputs. Fine. So suppose if you write the program, and you have written the program in the high level language, that means in simple English, which cannot be understandable for the computers, but this is understandable to the humans. So you have to just convert the higher level language into the machine level language, in where you are using the compilers. You already know that. So what the compiler will do is, you have a Fortran program. The compiler will actually convert this Fortran program into the object file, that is the machine language. And it is actually convert this object file into the executable program. This is actually done by simultaneously by the compiler. convert into the machine level language, and then it translate the program from higher level language to the machine level language. Then it process the computer process the program. So before going to compilation, suppose if you are writing the program in any personal computer editor, text editor, so you have to first write the program, then you have to save it. So for saving the Fortran program, you have to write the file name and with the extension of .f. Suppose if the Fortran is actually version 77 or earlier versions, you have to use this file name extension. Suppose if you are writing your program in a Fortran 90 or 95 or the latest versions, then you have to use the file name .f90 or f95. So here you can see that this program is actually written as main.f95. I am not saving it, but it is out the system itself, the online compiler itself, giving the name to the program with the extension of f95. That means this program is actually compiled with the f95 compiler. So if you write if you want to means whatever the version you are using, you have to use the extension accordingly. Suppose if you are save the compiler, save the name with the .f and return the instruction with the f90 commands, then the for compiler will show you the errors. So you have to make sure that what is the corresponding version you are using and the commands you are using. You have to save the Fortran file with the corresponding extension f90 or f95. Most probably we will use the f90 for the compiling purpose. Okay, so once you save the file, then you can compile the program and then run the program. Okay, so you can see that the compilers there are different commercial compilers and open source compilers are available in for the Fortran code. For example, the best for open source compilers are GFortran, LFortran or Flank. So I probably use the GFortran for the compiling because this is very efficient and very optimized Fortran compiler, which is also open source, so that you can recommend everyone to use the GFortran. And also you have other compilers called AppSoft, IBM and IBM Excel Fortran, Intel Fortran compilers are available, which is commercially available. You have to buy the license by paying the money, and then you have to get the compilers. And also apart from this, you also have an online compiler which I have used in the earlier program, which is www.onlinegdb.com. Here is not only available for the Fortran computer, but it is also available for the all other languages, Python, C, C++, Fox Pro, whatever it is. All the programs can be compiled using this online compiler, online GDB compiler. Okay, so the next is the constant and variables, which we have seen in the last example. We have used the constants and variables. We have used particularly the variables we have used. So one more thing I have to mention that we are not going to learn the entire Fortran language, but we are only learn what we required. Okay, so keep this in mind, because there are a lot of instructions, a lot of commands are available in Fortran, which is not actually required for our scientific computing. So what I am going to do is I am just giving you the whatever we are going to use in your scientific programming. I will give you the introduction or a explanation for the corresponding variables or a constants or whatever the particular instructions. Okay, what is constants? We already know what is constant is. That means the value of the corresponding variable is or corresponding object will not change its value to the entire program. So the data object that is defined before the program is executed, and that does not change the value during the execution of the program. For example, if you want to declare any constant, for example, the best constant is pi. Suppose if you want to find the radius of the circle or everything, so you require this constant. That means it doesn't change its value to the entire program, so that you have to enter this as a constant. Then variables, sometimes these variables will take the updated values, and while program is progressing, the value of the variable will change. So that can change during the execution of the program. Okay, so I already told you that. So this variable each and every variable it's having its unique name. That means you cannot able to use the same name for two variables. For example, if you use a is for one variable, you have to use a1 or a2 or a3 for the another variable. You cannot able to simultaneously have the two variable names for the single variable name for the two different numbers or two different unique. So it should be a unique one, and every variable having its own character length. That means 31 characters is the character length means character length. Apart from this, the compiler will show you the error. Similarly, the variable should start with the alphabetic character, not with the number, and it also having the digits, underscore and everything characters, but the first letter should be a alphabetic one. And then these are all the some of the valid variable names: the distance, time, a underscore plus and alphabet 1 2 3. These are all the some of the valid variable examples, where you can also use the underscore and the combination of small and uppercase and lowercase letters, and you can also use the allowed to use the numbers also, but not the first character. So for the example of the invalid variable characters, I have given the three numbers. One is the 3 underscore days. That means the first letter should be a alphabet. So this variable is an invalid one. And a dollar. That means the special characters are not allowed into the variable name. And you can see that this is a very long variable name. So you cannot able to have a character which is more than 31. So this is the longest variable name which is invalid usually. So suppose if you have a constant and variables, we have a different types. Usually any constant or variable having a integer type and real, character, logical and complex. So these are all the 5 inbuilt intrinsic Fortran character, type of constant and variables. So integer you already know, it doesn't have any decimal sim, but decimal numbers, decimals. Real having a decimal numbers, and character is only a just give you the character set. Logical, this logical variables will give you the yes or no type values, and this complex is actually you can use the complex variables also in the Fortran program, but it is not available in any C or other languages. Complex variable is available, supported in the Fortran language. Or you can just if you are unfamiliar with writing the complex numbers, you can just convert these numbers into the constant with trigonometric function, then you can use it again. Okay, so I am going to give some examples for the valid examples for the constants and integer and real. So integer values should always have a numbers without decimal. You can also allowed to use the negative numbers also. So these are all the usually we were not use the plus symbol in front of the line, because without the symbol is already taken as a positive valued. Once if it is negative valued, then you have implicitly input as a negative, when we put the negative symbol in front of the number. And real example for the real number is the number with decimal is the example. Again you can use the negative sign or positive sign. You can also use the exponential. That means this is equivalent to 1 into 10 power minus 3. So you can write this scientific number in terms of 1.0 e, that means exponential of minus 3. So this Fortran compiler will take this number as a 1 into 10 power minus 3. Similarly, you can take the 123.45 e times of, that means 123.45 into 10 power 20. So this is how this number will be read by the compiler. Okay, so you can write the exponential and everything in the real. And character set, so you have the character variable should always start with the single quote or double quote. Mostly you will use the single quote. So whatever you are including into the single quotes, the open and close the single quote, that is a character set. So you can also give the blank space, whatever into the character set, whatever you are giving into the single quotes, that will be not read by the compiler. So you can also use the unallowed, not allowed, where is a character set, because the curly braces is not allowed in the Fortran program, but still you can use it as a character variable. Similarly, you can use the double quotes. You just give the characters will also maybe are numbers. And logical, it only give you the true and false. and the only thing is you have to give the true and false in the two dot line, in between the two dots. That means if I give the any value within the two dots, that will give you the logical statement. Okay, so these are the some of the invalid types of data, means types of examples for the real, integer, real, character and logical. So you cannot able to use the comma in the numbers. Also in integers you cannot able to use the decimal numbers. Similarly here also you cannot able to use the decimal numbers, and real value also you cannot able to use the commas in the numbers, and each and every number should have a decimal point, otherwise it is the invalid real number. Similarly the exponentiation doesn't have a decimal number, usually we don't do that. So for example minus 12.0 into 10 power minus plus 1.5. so what it means is it's actually this times of this, so we cannot able to take the 1.5 times, so that this is not allowed in the real number character. Similarly the character set you have to include into the double quotes, whatever you are writing, which in single quote or double quote. Without the single quote, double quote, that's the invalid type of character type. Similarly you can use the either you can start with the single quote or double quote. You have to start and stop with the same quote. You cannot able to use the simultaneously use the single and double quotes, so this is the invalid character set. Similarly men's friend, so you can see that another quote is included here. That means the single quote started from here is ended here. That means this is actually a invalid character set, so you cannot able to do that in the character set. Similarly the logical statement, which should be come with the in between the dots, and it start with the dot and also end with the dot. If it is doesn't appear here, then it is a invalid logical statement. Okay, so next, so in Fortran programming by default, suppose if you are not declaring anything in the variable starting of the program, then all the variables starting with the letters I, J, K, L, M and N are taken as integers. For example, if I start a number, start a variable with the number, start a variable with the alphabet N, then this variable is automatically taken as a integer. Okay, because we have not declared anything explicitly. That means so that the alphabets which the variables which is starting with this alphabets taken as a variables, integers, and the other variables kind of from A to H and O to Z taken as a real variables. For example, if I take the A number, then this is taken as a real value and this is taken as an integer value because it started with the letter N. So this is actually allowed in the Fortran programming, but it is always recommended to mention the type of the variables explicitly into your program. So for do that you can use the different commands which I can discuss in the later slides. Okay, so we can look at the type of the declaration. Suppose if you want to declare the variable as integer, real or logical or character, then you have to use this follow syntax. That means you have to use the integer double colon. So this double colon is not mandatory, but still in the latest version of Fortran 1995 people are using this double colon. Even without double colon also this program will compile or it takes as a integer variable or real or whatever it is. So variable 1, and also you can give the more than one variables as a integers in the single line itself. So you can give the whatever the integers are using in the program can be given as a single line itself, or you can separately given as a every single variable as a different type. For example, I can give the integer A and the next line I can give integer B. I can give that also. Otherwise I can give integer A comma B comma C, whatever it is. Similarly the real constant, the real variable will be declared with the letter or instruction real double colon. Similarly variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, whatever it is. Similarly the logical is the corresponding instruction to declare the logical variable, semicolon double colon, then again the variables. And character set, So here the character, you have to mention the what is the length of the character first. That means character is the instruction to declare the character constant or character variable, and you have to give the length. Length means len, which is equal to the number. What is the length of the character? Then semicolon, the two colons, then the variable. For example, if the count day and month are integers, then you can use the integer colon count day and month. These are, if we will do this count day month are taken as a integer values. Similarly, real, second, length, time. So these are the taken the real variables, and the logical test1, test2 taken as a real variable, the logical variables. But you have to mention the value of the test1, test2 in the double quote. So double full stops. Okay, so this test1 and test2 are the logical variables. The value should be given into the two dots, in between the two dots. Similarly, I can told you that the character having the length of 15, which is equal to character. That means this character char having the total length of 15, which is a character variable. Again, you have to initialize this character, which is equal to something in between the two dots, which is having a 15 length variable, length of 15. Okay, so these are all the methods to declare the variables. You can also declare the constant in the starting of the program itself. For this, syntax is type. Type means what is the type, whether it is a real or integer. The constant is having a real valued or a integer values or whatever it is. So you have to mention that the corresponding type. Then the parameter. This parameter attribute is actually used to declare the constants. So type, comma, parameter, the parameters attribute, double colon, the name, what is the name of the constant and what is the value, what is its value. So this is the syntax, and the example is, suppose if I want to declare the pi as a constant, then I have to use the real, because this is a real value. So real, comma, so you just don't forget to put the comma or comma here, otherwise it is give you the wrong answer, means the syntax error. So real, comma, the parameter, colon, pi, that is a variable name or constant name, which is equal to, this is the value. So if you put this, then wherever you are using the pi as a instruction, then this value will be substituted to the pi value. Okay, so I think I stop here, and tomorrow we can see the other assignment statement, a logical statement, everything we can see in the next class. Okay, so suppose if you have any doubts, we can discuss it in the online class itself, during the online class. Thank you.